All right, for this first video, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of really cool items. We haven't really covered too much. The first one I want to talk about is the requirements document. Okay, so the requirements document, you'll find it's with an S, requirements.txt. And in this document, you'll list all the different libraries that are going to be used and their version number with two equal signs inside the actual. So it's Flask equal 3.1.0 and so forth. These are automatically put in when you install, right? So say I want to install MySQL into this program, right? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go pip install MySQL. I think it's client. Okay. And we'll just run the MySQL client. It says it's going to collect all the information, and now it's pip installed MySQL. It worked, okay? But you notice it didn't show up over here in the list. So what you have to do is do a pip freeze, right? So we're going to go pip freeze, and then I'm just going to do the greater than sign and send it into requirements, like so. So requirements.txt. So what I did was type in REQ and then I hit tab and it auto completed. Again, that does two things. It knows that there is a file called requirements already there and we don't accidentally misspell it. So I'm going to hit enter, and it did a bunch of crazy stuff over to this thing. So let's just close that and we'll open back up requirements. And it looked like it actually did a pip freeze and took all of the stuff that was inside this virtual environment and put it into here. Okay, which I'm okay with. So everything that needed to be installed based off this virtual environment here, we had deleted, and these are all extra things, right? So technically we could just delete the virtual environment. Okay, so let me just hit Control Z and see if we can delete. No, that won't do it. I'm not worried about it. We can, this just makes it a little bit longer to do the install. Not a huge deal. But notice that the MySQL client showed up right here. Okay. After you do the pip freeze. Okay. This virtual environment had all of these libraries installed. And when I did the pip freeze, it put them all back in here. That's what it does. Okay. So that's how you understand what the requirements document is, and also what pip is. Pip is just a command that you can run to install libraries. Okay. Now the other file I want to talk about is this file here called procfile. Okay. And in the procfile, you'll see it says web:/Gunicorn app. This app refers to the app here. Okay. And Gunicorn refers to the little web server that's going to run on Heroku. Okay. Heroku is where we're going to push this eventually and be able to look at it on the web. Okay, so if I go back and look at the requirements document, we need to make sure Gunicorn, which it is on line 10, is installed. If it's not installed here, so to do it, it's pip install Gunicorn. If it's not installed here, that procfile is not going to work correctly. And you have to have the procfile to work, and it needs to be with a capital P with no extension. It needs to look just how it is, so just don't mess with it. But that's what the procfile does. The procfile is going to tell Heroku what web server we want to run. All right, so in this video, we talked about Gunicorn, we talked about the procfile, and we talked about what pip and the requirements document does.